Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Papi Vazquez, and this is episode 2 of Supadupa the show, right? And I was kind of thinking, how would I record a podcast that would be one, interesting, two, about the topics you guys want to hear about, and three, also ties into the reactions that I'm doing. So, what I am doing now is I'm actually recording a podcast, and within this podcast, I will be doing my reaction episodes. If you're actually watching the podcast episode, you actually won't see any of those reactions. You'll actually have to watch the reaction video, right? But what this podcast is going to allow me to do is to dive deeper into these artists, right? Some of their backstories, learn some things about them. And that is what's going to be the podcast, right? It's going to be about the videos that I reacted to and the artists. I thought that'd be a cool little concept to try. See if you guys like it. And if you do, great. That's definitely what I want. I want to create quality, or give you guys quality, and make sure that we give a good product, right? Because we just want to do things and be as ethical as we can be over here. That being said, right, my boy Fujii Kaze dropped Hana 11 hours ago, and I'm gonna have to react to it, right? And so I'll react I'll react to the channel, right? I'll put that stuff on the reaction, right? But what I want to do right now is I want to learn more about Fujii Kaze. Let's make Fujii Kaze the first subject of our podcast. So let me pull up Wikipedia, right, and see what they have to say about Mr. Fujii Kaze. So according to Wikipedia, Fujii Kaze was born in June 14th, 1997, is a Japanese singer-songwriter and musician under Universal Music Japan, raised in Satosho, Okayama in Japan. He began uploading covers to YouTube since the age of 12. He released his first studio album, Help Ever Hurt Never, in 2020, which reached number 1 on the Billboard Japan Hot Albums chart and number 2 on the Oricon Albums chart. That's pretty dope. So this guy is some kind of prodigy. Sounds like it. If by the age of 12 he was releasing covers on YouTube, and his first studio album, Help Ever Hurt Never, in 2020 reached number 1. That's crazy. First studio album. You know how impressive that is? That's super impressive. Um okay. So I guess, okay, so he's a prodigy, he plays the piano, right? So let me see. Let's look at some more details. So he was born in 1997, right? As a child, he listened to all kinds of music, such as jazz, classical music, pop, and enka. Starting at 12 years old, Fuji uploaded various piano and vocal cover videos on his personal YouTube channel, amassing over 30 million views. During his high school years, he stopped uploading to focus on musical studies. He returned to YouTube after he graduated in early 2019. He moved to Tokyo. Wow. So I guess he learned like music theory and stuff like that, which is pretty dope. I have tried to learn music theory, and I think I've progressed. I'm an intermediate music theorist, right? But I only do it on my like side time, when I have side time, and you know, I didn't get a chance to dedicate my life to it, but he did. And you can definitely hear, the other day, me and my wife were on our way to our Thanksgiving, and that I saved Working Hard on my playlist on my phone. So like, boom, and then it just came up, and I was like, "Hey baby, remember you like this song?" And I turned it up, and it's like, "Working hard, working hard, working hard." That song is dope. It's like, I don't know, what I really like about it is the effortless talent that he has. It's kind of like he doesn't care, and his face shows like very little effort. But when you actually hear what he's doing, like can recognize that it's like very advanced in the way that he does his melodies over his music. Like I said, I reacted to two songs, one on the Amp Theory, one on Supadupa, and that's pretty interesting. Let's get to know a little bit more about Mr. Fujii Kaze. Let's see. Fuji released his debut single, WTF LOL, on November 18th. Is that my mom's birthday? No, my mom's birthday is November 19th in 2029. And his second single, Moewa, on December 24th. Each single was pre-released digitally with its own expanded play, and each EP including cover songs that can only be downloaded on Apple Music. It says the biggest Japanese musical phenomenon since Utada. All right, guys, I try to learn some interesting facts about Mr. Fujii Kaze, but you know, I didn't see anything that outside of the fact that he performed and started releasing when he was 12. That's crazy. And then stepped away from music and came back to a very much anticipated first album, and it looks like it was a great one. I'm looking forward to just listening to that. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start off the reaction to Fujii Kaze Hana. Okay, so you're gonna see a jump here from now to afterwards, where maybe I might be talking about something else, and or possibly the next thing I'm gonna react to. Okay, so let's get the reaction going. All right, so I just recorded the first reaction that's gonna be part of this podcast. And so I want to expand a little bit more. I know I was already talking a lot over there, but like just Fujii Kaze and that whole theory of like life, you know, like I don't know. I think that there's been a lot of thought that has been put into like what is the meaning of all of this, right? And I'm interested in what y'all have to say about it, you know? I don't know if I know. You know, I don't know if I know. I think that like I think one thing that I know that I want to believe in is the fact that, you know, we can be good to each other so that we can have a better experience, you know. But that's something that's easy said on the internet, but I feel like in real life it's harder to put into play, you know, like sometimes you have to like be real about things, you know? And man, like I sometimes I think about like what is the point of certain ideas or going through certain things if at the end of the day like it doesn't matter, you know? So I think like I don't know, maybe as we go through life we just be really cool to one another. That's probably what we should do. I think that sounds dope. Um to pivot to something else. You know, hey, that's what happens with good music, man. Fujii Kaze had me thinking about all this, like, I don't know, it makes you think about life, right? And I think that's what real good music does. You know, that's why I'm a Fujii Kaze fan since the last song I heard. But I did do something that I wanted to kind of throw you guys your way, right? I actually heard that Joe Rogan podcast with The Rock, right? Because I thought it would be cool to see what The Rock had to say, right? And I don't know, like then I started thinking about The Rock, like the figure, the person, The Rock, right? So I can only say it like in the American version of things, right? Like so I'm from Texas in the US, right? And when I saw The Rock, right, The Rock was just a wrestler. And he had like he was part of like that attitude era, I think. If and J Mac from the Amp Theory could probably expand on this a little bit better because he knows all about wrestling. But I just know when I saw The Rock was like this guy who was like freaking cool and had attitude, and it's like he gave no fucks. He wouldn't listen to authority, you know, and he was like the champion, you know, as The Rock, and he had these moves. And you know, I thought that was dope. You know, I thought that was dope. And then all of a sudden, you know, he progresses to go into movies like right the Pharaoh, no, the Prophet, the one that movie he became the Scorpion King on that movie on that franchise, and then later on had a little spinoff um with um with the Scorpion King, right? But then like he just started blowing up to be like a figure that's like just bigger than he started becoming like a workout positivity guy. He's like, yeah, you know, like, and he wouldn't tell you to work out. He'd just be sitting there just like killing it on Instagram. And like he plays all these bigger than life roles because he's tall and freaking ripped and jacked, and he's like, just fighting people and stuff. So I don't know. And he was what he said on the podcast, it was kind of like that made me think it's like that is people approached him telling him that there was a scenario where The Rock could be the president of the United States. Isn't that crazy, guys? Like, wouldn't that be crazy if a actual like real life superhero, like this guy's done so much fucking incredible shit fakely in a movie. Like, like I guess, his dad used to be a wrestler too, right? So he kind of had a way to get connections to get into the wrestling federation, right? Obviously he had it, and I think that's what's helped him get to where he has had to get to. But guys, have you ever thought about what it is? Like, isn't it kind of crazy that some people are born with something that we can't even name? We call it it. It's like it. He has it. What is it? It's like that he has. That's a little crazy, right? Like, imagine having it so much that they would make you the president of any country. Like who cares if it's the United States, right? What if the president of like freaking Belize was all of a sudden The Rock? That'd be intense, right? Now, like, imagine now The Rock being like in charge of all the missiles that the U.S. has. Like he calls it the people's bomb or something, right? The people's or the rock bottom. How would you do that in a military way? I don't know. But either way, so if for you guys that don't know about wrestling, every wrestler has like kind of like his finishing move, right? That if he lands this thing on you, you're gonna count to three. So I don't know if you ever watch wrestling, right? But you pow pow, right? You pow pow. You got your guy on the ground. You get on him, right? And they count one, two. But right before that three hits, he kicks out. Okay, so once he kicks out, that means you have to rough him up a little bit more, right? Try again. And usually on every match, you try to pin somebody like two, 3 times, and they kick out of it. So what do you do to put them over? You do your finishing move. Pow. So The Rock had this thing called the rock bottom, which basically he would put somebody's arm over his so that he could pick them up and slam them on the ground. And I guess that slam coming from that guy was so powerful that then he'd be able to get that extra 1, 2, 3. Well, he had this other move, right? That was very incredible for anybody who ever watched wrestling. And let me tell you how this one goes. He would beat you up so bad, pow, 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 right? That you would be you remember, did you ever play the old Street Fighter when you used to like knock somebody out so much they'd be like like that? And they were like they couldn't fight, so you can like get some free hits off of him. Well, that's what The Rock would do. He'd be like pow, 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 and then you'd be like but you'd be laying down. So this whole time he gets to kick your arm so that you're laying down like this, right? He would take the time to take off his wristband and he'd throw it out in the crowd, right? And then he'd jump over to one rope, he'd go over to the next rope, he would meet the guy in the middle, he'd kick his leg out, wow, 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 and then boom, he'd hit him. And that was the people's elbow. And that is how he would finish his opponents, right? So that's why I was saying that if he became president, he would name these missiles different things, and that was the joke. I feel like that was so long-winded. So guys, now I don't know. Look, I promise you, these are my first podcasts by myself. I haven't podcasted since I podcasted with Scott and J-Mac on the Am Theory. So I promise you that the more that I do these, the better and more entertaining they will get. Let's go into our next reaction though. So who am I gonna react to now? Let me see. All right, guys. So this next artist that we're gonna be getting into is gonna be Dave, the UK artist, I was put onto him because I was put on. So if you guys know me, I usually listen to K-pop, but this channel I really wanted to be more of a global music scene from all different parts of the world. And somebody, so I Jungkook came out with a song. Well, I think Kid Laroi came out with the song. Jungkook was featured on it, and so was Central C. I didn't know anything about Central C, so then I reacted to Central C and Dave Sprinter, which had a whole bunch of views. I ended up dropping that, and somebody in the comments said, "Hey, I'm here for Dave." And I'm like, "Well, if you're here for Dave, let's get some more Dave on the show." And I honestly went to the gym this morning and I listened to nothing but Dave. And so this song that we're gonna react to. Oh, actually, I'm not even gonna go into that part yet. So today I'm gonna react to Star. I guess I ended up going into it. What the fuck? Okay, Starlight by Dave is gonna be the video that I'm gonna react to. But this is gonna be the content that you're gonna get here on the podcast. Is the bonus, the deep dives, and then you go look at the podcast and you can come back later. But look, let's get in here and I'm gonna look up Dave UK rap. All right. No. Okay, Dave Rapper. All right. So let's see. David Orobosa Michael Omoregi, right? Born 5th of June 1998, also known as Santan Dave or just Dave, is a British rapper. He has gained acclaim for his socially conscious lyricism and wordplay. What is that? Socially conscious. You know what? That's one thing that I was noticing. All right, so I'm getting used to the accents, right? In for like listening to English people say the way that they say things, and I noticed that some of his lyrics were very different. Is that what he is known for? Let's figure this thing out. All right, all right, all right. Dave released his debut extended play Six Paths in 2016 after the release of several successful singles, including the grime song Thiago Silva with AJ Tracy. In the same year, Canadian rapper Drake premiered a remix single on Dave's song Wanna Know, featuring himself on OVO Sound Radio. Dave released his second EP, Game Over, in 2017. In 2018, his political song Question Time, which directed criticism towards the British government, won the Ivor Novello Award for Best Contemporary Song. In that same year, he released Funky Friday, featuring Fredo, and which became his first number one song in the UK singles charts, and his first platinum certified release. Okay, so he's socially conscious. He's also brought stuff against the British government, saying, "Hey, we want more something, more rights, less something, less lockup." Maybe, I don't know what it was about. I would be probably interested. So it sounds like he's a lyricist, right? It's the way he says things. I know off of that Central C song and what I've been listening to, that boy can definitely put some words together, and I really like the way he says things. Now I see that his name is besides David and Michael. He has some foreign names. So he's Nigeria by way of Nigeria. Hey, okay. So, hey, fun fact that you get here on the podcast is that I just met my brother-in-law and he's Nigerian. So I got a Nigerian brother-in-law. His name's, well, I won't share his name because I don't know if he wants to share his name. But if you keep watching the podcast, eventually I will have guests. We can watch videos and react, but we're also just going to talk stuff. So maybe I'll talk to my Nigerian brother-in-law and figure out some stuff about Nigeria. If you're Nigerian, subscribe and maybe you might see that. All right. Ooh. Somebody's alarm went off. That's messed up. Don't they know I'm over in here recording? I guess not. All right. So so obviously he has a lot of stuff. So let's see his early life. Let's look. Oh, I was trying to edit it. So in Angletown in the Brixton area of South London, to Nigerian parents from the Edo ethnic group. So the Edo ethnic group. Okay. What is the Edo ethnic group? The Edo people, sometimes referred to as Bendo people, are an Edo-speaking ethnic group. The Oredo, who predominantly reside in 7 southern local government areas of the state of Edo, Nigeria, are known as Benin. Okay, cool. So now we know. Hey, we're learning things here on Supadupa. His father, Frank or Omoregi, is a pastor, and his mother, Juliet Doris Omoregi, a nurse. That's interesting. That's interesting. Um, I wonder what they feel about his rap career. I don't know. I'm gonna get into the lyrics of this song, right? So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna, figure out how crazy he gets with them. But that being said, that's pretty interesting. He came from a pastor and he would be a rapper. He has 2 older brothers, Benjamin and Christopher, who are 8 and 5 years older than him, respectively. Dave's father was deported to Nigeria when Dave was just a few months old due to visa issues. He had believed he was traveling on a missionary visa, but was actually on a visitor's visa. Dave's mother fled with his brothers in fear of being deported and was not reunited with Dave until 3 months later. That's pretty traumatizing. The family was then left homeless for a period and lived on South London's buses. Wow, that's interesting. That's going to put a lot of, like, I don't know, that's going to give me so much more context to maybe why he says what he says, and maybe the style in which he says the things he's going to say. That's so stupid the way I said that. Why did I say it with all those words? Um but the fact that he came from, like, that separation from his family too at such a young age, that does something to somebody, so maybe that's why he feels he's a little bit more rebellious, maybe, possibly, I don't know. But wow, the life of an immigrant. My parents are immigrants as well, and so they have their own stories of coming over and being legal and all that. Dave moved to Sethram from nearby Brixton at the age of 7, so he moved at a very young age. He began composing music at an early age, and he started writing lyrics at 11 after watching his older brother practice rapping at home, and taught himself piano after receiving an electric keyboard from his mother on Christmas when he was 14. Wow, so we got another prodigy here, somebody who's been doing that. So, wow. Okay. So, hey, look, that's a lot of facts right now. I don't want to just sit here and read Wikipedia, but that's definitely a good context, guys. So now we're going to go over and we're going to do the reaction. See you on the flip side. All right, guys. So I just came back from the reaction of Dave, and I think that I'm gonna call it quits there. All right. Honestly, I really thought the whole everything's real dope with Dave. I've heard a lot of his music. It really got me into some type of mood because I was like shooting basketball while I was listening to him, and he got me hyped. He got me real hyped. Guys, I think y'all see me wearing this Cowboys shirt, right? Just to flex on them, flex on you guys at work that probably are watching this. If you root for any other team outside of the Cowboys, forget y'all. Any fans of any other teams here, forget y'all. Just remember the Cowboys are the best. But I love you guys as people. I just hate you guys as fans of other football teams. If you guys don't know, if you're like from a country that doesn't watch football, which is probably every other country besides America, there here in American football, God has chosen a team, and that team is the Dallas Cowboys. He loves us, and we haven't won a championship in a while, but this year is our year. I feel it, the world feels it, and I'm just putting that out there. I'm speaking it into existence. So I need everybody from every country that doesn't have American football to just really want the Cowboys to win this season. And that would make everybody pretty happy. But I am an actual huge Cowboys fan. I really like the team. I like that there's only like one game a week. That's my biggest thing. And so I learned, I think I would like any sport that would make it very easy for me to watch. Unfortunately, basketball and baseball have times that I just can't keep up with. I got things I got to do, right? So football, I can dedicate that time, work a little bit while I'm there. I guess I can also talk about some things that I have going on behind the scenes. I do have that online store, but I've switched over to a new system of processing doing my editing, and also I have a new process in making my thumbnails, right? So you might see a little change in there. But outside of that, everything is going to be returning. I had to take a little bit of a break. Sometimes life gets a little hard. I started a new second job, and that's been kind of throwing me off a little bit. I also started going back to the gym because it's important to be healthy. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of changes going on lately, but I will not let go of this channel, right? I'm still going to be doing reactions. I'm still going to be dropping these podcasts. I like these podcasts because they're just slightly different. They allow me to talk about more things like The Rock earlier and getting into these deeper dives of Dave and, what did I react to first time? Dave and, who did I react to? Fuji Kaze, bro, come on, dude. Fuji Kaze and Dave. I just went totally blank. So that's actually something that y'all can know about me. I actually have not that great of memory. It's the short-term stuff. I remember long-term things. Maybe I don't. I don't know. You'd probably have to ask my wife. But yeah, my memory sometimes fails me. Um but you do what you can, right, guys? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this second episode. I promise you things will get better as I go. I'm starting to try to make this into something, right? So what you're witnessing now is the rough draft, the rough idea, the hey, let me throw something out there and see if it works, right? And before I go, I just want y'all that if you're starting something, if you're doing something, sometimes you have to do these things, right? Sometimes you just have to put yourself out there and try something, put it out, and then mess with it. And so this is me putting something out. I promise you I will get better. I will be better. Everything will be good. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you so much. Be cool. Peace.